Chef Kawakami. I am making a traditional sponge cake today because we're going to be making a tiramisu. Now the reason I'm making my own sponge cake is because I went around to a bunch of different stores. I couldn't find ladyfingers, and they're not that hard to find, but sometimes, you know, after I go to 3 different stores and I can't find what I want, I'm just like, I can make it, and it's super, super easy. So I have 6 eggs right here, and what I like about this is it's a very simple recipe. Anyone can make this. The key is actually just whipping the eggs to full volume. Now you have 6 eggs here. We're gonna add a cup of sugar, and then a cup of flour, and then half a teaspoon of baking powder. So that's all that goes into this. It's very simple. The oven's preheating at 350. The reason we're using a sponge cake is that's all that ladyfingers are. They're just little sponge cakes, and you want something that doesn't have a lot of flavor because you want to focus on the mascarpone mixture and the the coffee kind of flavor that's going to go into your dessert. So here we go. 6 eggs, very easy. Bring this up, and whenever I start mixing, you start slow at first. You don't want to be like rushing the eggs because they'll just like splash out. So give them time to start breaking up, and then once they start to break up and get real frothy, that's when we're going to add the sugar. It's going to slowly pour it in, and then after it whips up to full volume, you're going to see this thing, it really puffs up. Then we're going to be adding the flour and with the baking powder. You want this to fall down in soft sort of ribbons so you can still see where it's still on there. And now what we're going to do, take our baking powder right there. Make sure to get all of that, because that helps with the lift as well. And then we're just going to sift in 1/3 of our flour. And I know some people will be like, is that really necessary? Do you really need to sift in your flour? But you do. It actually helps make it a little more fluffy. And then what I do, I just take the whisk right here. So for the first part, I'm not being gentle. We call that the sacrifice. You throw that in there, you mix it in. Second part. And this is actually, adding the flour is helping to stabilize all those bubbles that we've created in the eggs. So just really get that in there, but don't overmix it. All right, last addition. Flour. Boom. Just gonna fold that in. Beautiful, very, very light, very delicate. And like I said, it doesn't have a lot of flavor, but that's because we want the flavor to come with whatever we're adding to it. I'm gonna pour this into pans. You should line them with parchment. I don't have parchment, I'm a daredevil. The key when you're making something like this, especially very light spongy cakes like this, like angel's food cake for instance, you don't grease the pan because the grease is gonna kill those bubbles and prevent it from rising. Just gonna put that in there, all right. And now, I'm gonna pop this in a 350-degree oven for 25 minutes. It may take a little bit longer, you just gotta check it, make sure it's nice and golden brown and light, all right? So here we are, preheated oven. All right, and we go. Our cakes are done. Yeah, look at that. That, my friend, is a pretty cake. Now these are ready to be made with anything. You can make this into any kind of cake or a tiramisu. Maybe you'll make a tiramisu.